What's going on, Aquarius? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, I had to switch things up on you a little bit. Didn't want you to get too comfortable. Really, technical difficulties, but it's fine because of your subscriptions, your likes, and your shares. You're keeping me coming back and keeping this channel growing, so you're thebomb.com. And for those of you who are new, also equally bomb.com. I'm glad your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an exciting journey, I promise. Now, what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of October 30th through November 5th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So, with that being said, let's jump into it. Cleansed your space, made some new gem friends. We're about to get down. Now, what I'm going to be doing is pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corners are going to be some future outcomes you might be considering. The bottom left is going to be some some deja vu, is going to be some perspectives you might be thinking about in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then finally, the bottom right will be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards are really cool, so I'll make sure to show you those all throughout. But without further ado, higher self, what do we have in store for Aquarius this week? Let me get your cards pulled, and we'll get to it. Nice. Oh. Okay. Hey, you got some pretty good energy here. Some big energy. Mindfulness all over the place. Ooh. Okay, let me get these cards organized, and then we'll get into it. Okay. All right. I'm with it. Okay. So, for the nature of your problem this week, we have the Fool. Love it. And then the cards that came along with it are the 7 of Wands and the 3 of Swords. So, with the Fool being the nature of your problem this week, I feel like we're looking for just some adventure. You know, we're looking for something that's gonna that when we wake up, we're excited about, you know, jumping out of bed and just like tackling the day. You know, carpe diem and all of that. That's what the Fool's about. And I feel like for you know, for some of you, you know, we're getting to this point. Either we found something that's really got us excited and that's really got us motivated, or for others, you know, I feel like it's, you know, we're looking for that thing. But regardless, I do feel like when the Fool pops up, it is it's a good time. You know, this is something we're feeling revitalized. You know, we're feeling like that we can, you know, because I know we had some pretty heavy energies the last couple weeks, but now I feel like for some we're coming at the end of that that meditative state, and now we found that just that revitalization that we need, that passion, that lust for life. You know, that's what the Fool card is about. So I feel like for some, you know, if we haven't found that yet, we're about to go out and find it this week. And that's really dope. I'm all for that. And, you know, I know we were talking about mindfulness cards. I know we see this over here. Don't pay attention to it yet. We have a couple opportunities for some wisdom here, but you know what? We're not afraid of that, because look, check out this Fool here. Imagine this is because we all know what that is. We're not going to talk about you yet. You got to wait your turn. with imagine that he who shall not be named is this tiger here trying to just come at you already. We haven't even been in the reading 5 minutes, already trying to come at you. But check them out, not even bothered. Crocodiles underneath in the water, whoop, jumping right over it because we are excited. This is whatever this is, and I'm excited for you, Aquarius. This is really cool. Whatever this is, it's got yeah, I'm feeling I feel like you're feeling really good about it, and I feel like if that's where your heart is that where your passion is calling, I say go out and seize it, and don't be afraid of that. Show that courage, because with the Seven of Wands, this is just that. This is a card of it's a card of valor, but it's my card of like meeting struggles head on, getting those small victories. Just really having that seize the day, that carpe diem mentality. Just going out and get it, and not getting in your own way. Because if you see here, I don't know if I've pulled the Six of Wands with you in the past, but look, you got these 6 wands underneath this kind of main crude looking one here, but everything's all in order back here. We're all aligned. It's all ready. This is prime time, but the only thing that's getting in this way is this main one here that's kind of blocking it. Look, it's got the energy all kind of static, the energy's feeling a little tight. And I like to say that this main one is representing you. You have all this energy right here. It's the brightest one. It's the more prominent one of the picture. And it's got so much to give, but it just got to get out of your own way. Don't sit on it. Go out and seize it. And I feel like maybe if we're having a little trouble getting off on this start, or if we're getting in our way, if something's kind of restricting this, is that it's because of this Three of Swords here. And the Three of Swords is a card of sorrow, melancholy. It's very, very kind of somber energy. So I do feel like even though some of you are in this, we're in this really excited state, I feel like maybe there's still some kind of some residue from some past experience, or maybe something presently that's going on that's kind of got where the energy is slightly down. That may be why we're holding off on pulling the trigger here. But I will say in this, you don't have to, just because you're feeling that and, it's you're ready to get out there and do this thing, it doesn't have to be all accomplished in a day. That'd be a lot to take on if you're just I want to get to the end game right now. But where was the journey? Did you enjoy that path along the way? But where I'm getting at is that I feel like with, if we're taking our time, if this stuff is wearing us down, you can still go out because something got you out of bed. Despite this going on, we still got up and we're still tackling the day. So definitely give this its space, and then find a way to pace this out. Don't get in your way anymore. Let's, instead of trying to get that big win right off the bat, let's build it up. Let's get up there. Let's appreciate the journey, appreciate that growth. Because I do feel like, once you've because you got to give this its space, because that's going to follow you along in this journey. Just because we're ignoring this tiger right now, we're still really excited. The tiger's still kind of lingering there, just as okay, are you still just joining the journey now? How about now? How about now? It's just trying to, it's not trying to do that to bring you down. It's just doing that to just it's little check-ins, just more so. And I shouldn't have said it like that. It's just been hey, you good? We still good? You want to give that a little bit of time? Okay, let's give that a little bit of time. And you know what? With this one too, I want to emphasize before we move on to some future stuff. Lastly, with this thing, the Seven of Wands can also be about appreciating those kind of small victories. At least that's how I kind of picture it. This when we can't get that big win right off the bat, the big win is coming. How do we get those big wins? By practicing getting those small wins, so that when it comes, we can appreciate it wholly. So that's kind of where I'm getting with these energies here. Let's move on to let's go over to, no, I want to start over here first. Let's start on this left-hand side. Now with some future stuff here, I pulled the Prince of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. Whew, a lot of thinking. The swords have to do. We're in our head over here because in the seven swords, just in general, have to deal with intellectual matters. So yeah, if you're and especially you got three of them in a group, yeah, we're doing some heavy thinking. But I get it. You know, we're getting ready. We're about to embark on something big. Um, I will say, with this Prince of Swords popping up, considering we're getting ready to go on this adventure, you know, let's just be mindful. I love the Prince of Swords. He's you know, very smart, very calculating, very clever man. You know, he's got about and the thing is with these readings, they're not gender specific, so we're all princes in this scenario. But with the Prince of Swords, you know, this is a card. How I like to see him as is like a dominating figure, you know, or not a domineering figure. Let me take that back. What I like to see that sometimes he can look like this domineering figure. Say that 10 times fast. And that's only because he lacks direction. You know, sometimes with the swords, at least the prince and the knight of swords, there's that they kind of lack that. There's like that clarity. You know, him can be a little more so impressionable than I guess lacking direction, but you know that's you know he might think something is supposed to work one way. This is how he might have seen how these carriages are supposed to be drawn, but these fairies down here are like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Like, what is this? No, you know, he's just like, go, and it's just like, go where? Okay, well, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go on a trip and bye. You know, this one didn't even give a reason. We're just all leaving because it's like, what is this guy doing? And that whole thing is to say, just make sure that whenever you're going out on this thing, make sure that we're going with some kind of direction. You know, that we're not going. That we're not just going blindly because you got a lot of good stuff here, and I feel like the only reason that would be there would be that lack of direction would probably be just because there's some lingering things that are you know, that still need to be dealt with. So you know, making sure that that we've dealt with this one sword, you know, because we got whew, swords falling out. We got at least 12 swords here going on so far. Oh, and then one more at the bottom, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm glad you're thinking because that's good. You know, let's keep that plan and keep that going because ultimately, once we get our stuff together, dealt with our things, we're going to get to this Two of Swords here, where it's going to be that peace. You know, get to that balance. This is one of the cards of, you know, victory after struggle. You know, you know, kind of tough times bring about like peace and changes and just really getting your mental state back in balance. You know, where look at that. Now we've dealt with the one sword. We got it cured. Now we're feeling good again. Isn't that nice, Aquarius? Feeling nice, feeling peaceful, ready to take this on with a clear mind. And also, what I was saying too, like with the Fool, when you're getting ready to go on this journey, just be mindful of how we're expending that energy. You know, when I was saying how we got to deal with this, maybe, you know, appreciate the small victories. You know, maybe not just like tackling it all at once. You know, take each sword at a time. You know, I don't doubt that you're I'm sure you're a fantastic multitasker, but you know, this is my card of burnout. You know, this is lack of energy due to exhaustion, and that'll definitely weigh down on your head, and that's going to affect this whole journey. That'll get you right back into this Three of Swords energy. So just taking the time too, you know, as you're going through this, you know, let's take a little time to rest. Where we're seeing something is affecting us more so often, rest with that, keep it moving. Because ultimately, you're in this scenario here, you're that big sword here. Look at that. These little swords can't even hold a candle to you. But if they all come at you at once, then that might, you know, present a challenge. But you know, if you come at them strategically, come at them like the smarty pants I know you are. Absolutely, everything's gonna go smarty pants. Who are you, Justin? You get what I'm saying, Aquarius. Let's move on. Let's move on before this gets weird. Okay, now on this opposite side here, you got the Five of Wands, the Princess of Wands, and the Death card. Now, I know I feel like you've had the Death. You're still not being named, and I got another buddy. You two need to wait. Five of Wands. Five of Wands is a card of frustrated. That's what you're about to get me. Frustrated. This is a card of, you know, let's say Let's say you got towers and devils. Fine, I'll say it. You got towers and devils sitting at your back. Trying to you're trying to just get your three of swords in order, and you got some other things looming on the horizon that can lead to a little bit of frustration here. Lead to you where you're just like, you get into like this like combative kind of quarreling state. And when I think of like I feel like it's more of like an internal kind of fighting going on, less than, well, and you know what? Considering what season we're getting ready, or considering the what's going on in the planets, there's there might be even some like outside fighting. Maybe the frustration started within and it's like kind of seeped out, and kind of we've been attacking some people with all these swords that we have. But when this pops up, I just feel like it's just like, hey, let's take a minute. When we're feeling these hot emotions come up, just breathe. This is not to deter you from this trip here. We're still game on with this fool's journey here. This we just hit a little hiccup. We just hit a little moment for some wisdom. But at the end, we're going to go at it like the Princess of Wands. We're going to get up. We're going to be tenacious. We're going to, because this is my card of, well, she's become my card of tenacity. Because every time, back in the day, I would talk about her till the sun goes down. I mean, no clothes. Oof, this hat. And then, her tiger. This tiger is just forever asleep. Girl, we might need to take that to a vet. But she's like, no, everything's fine. Everything's great. We're getting out of bed. I'm excited. Check me out. That's Princess of Wands. I love her. She's very ambitious, very bold. She's another one. She's seizing the day. She's right there. She's going hand in hand with the full, like, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. And I feel like that is really going to be really helpful too, having that. Remember to keep that kind of fire, that enthusiasm going into this, because you see, it wouldn't be Scorpio season without a little bit of change, a little bit of transformation, because that's what the death card's about. And it's one of those things too. Don't force it. Like like I was saying again here. If we got some things that we need to deal with, let's appreciate the little small victories along the way. Let's just let's take things in stride. Let them happen naturally, because that's ultimately what the death card wants. It wants you to come into this transformation and it wants you to be the most beautiful butterfly when you come out of this thing. It doesn't want you coming out all jaded and feeling defeated and just like, man, that was awful. No, the death card wants you to come out like, yes, look at me, look at how I've changed. Yeah, like present the world. Princess of Wands enthusiasm. I'm with it. That's what I'm getting with the future here. We won't. Well, it looks like we can't stay in this too much longer, because it's that time. All right, y'all. You. Now, with where some perspectives that you want to be thinking about, which overall, these are some good perspectives. I mean, let me not. I'm making this way more dramatic than it needs to be. You got the Nine of Cups here. Good old friend, the devil, and the Lovers. So, we're thinking about, on this journey, what's going to make us happy? And absolutely, Aquarius, what's going to make you happy? This is my card of like emotional fulfillment, of joy, bliss, exuberance. Just all of that. It's just all the warm and fuzzies. That's what the Nine of Cups is bringing. And also too, with the cups being emotional matters, I feel like this kind of popping up too. How when you're going on this, whatever this thing that has inspired you, remembering that happiness along the way, that this is ultimately, you're doing this thing, whatever this is, you're doing this thing because it brings you joy, because it makes you happy in the good times and in the tough times. That's ultimately, this is how we're feeling at the end of the day. You were able to take a little more wisdom. Like, I'm gonna make this about me for 5 seconds. Like with this whole camera stuff, I was like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna have fun with this. Is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be happy. We're gonna make this work, because this is what I love doing. So doing that same kind of thing, if it still gets you out of bed, make sure to remember that we want to make sure we're keeping our happiness. And I feel like, what? I'm not gonna, because the energy with the devil's coming here. Normally the devil's about like blind impulse, intoxication, overindulgence. But I really feel like more so too, or I'm feeling more so with this card. This is a card of, can be a card of endurance and card of strength, because that, when you get in those times, when you get in like your typical devil moments, what are you going to need when you're dealing with that? You need strength, you need endurance, you need perseverance, because these are a devil moment just doesn't stop just because it's addressed. It's going to it requires some work to go into it. And I feel like with this devil popping up in this instance, I do feel like it's more so asking you to keep that strength, to keep that, when things aren't, when we're not entirely in that Nine of Cups, we kind of, when we fall into a Three of Swords, because it happens to the best of us, we can get in a Three of Swords every now and again, and that's fine. Three of Swords is welcome, but, remember, just like the devil is welcome. I feel like in this, especially in this instance, I'm all for you being here. To stay strong, remember the strength that you have, Aquarius, because it's only a matter of time, before we get to the Lovers. And the Lovers for me is a card of, we're taking that, whatever this is, and we're using like our intuition and our imagination, our innovation, and we're just really forming some like really manifesting and really trusting ourselves, and really kind of flowing through life a lot easier. I like to think that when the Lovers pops up, this is kind of like your higher self winking at you, just like hey, I know times have been tough. We were going through some stuff the last couple of weeks, but I'm always right here. Whenever you're ready to check in, buddy, I'm always right here listening. This is kind of like that coming. I really like to think of the Lovers as, think of this as you. Yeah, I know these two figures are you. What? Oh, stay with me. Think of this, because we all have our masculine and our feminine side. I don't know which side of mine can't talk, but we have, think of this masculine and this feminine side, they're coming together. This is the alchemical marriage. And I like to think of this hooded figure. This is the end game for that marriage. We're trying to get to our higher self. So this is like that merging of, we started in our nascency, coming into our adulthood. And then now we've got all this wisdom that we've attained from devils and five of wands, Three of Swords, this guy, all of that, we can become like our higher selves, because this is where I feel like, and one of my favorite, or one thing that I've been saying, someone had asked me, so who do you aspire to be? I was like, my higher self. I'm like, what? It's like, there are people that on the earth that I love, I would love to emulate, that are doing some really good stuff, and I want to emulate that and make it my own. But what I'm aspiring to be is my higher self. Because my higher self when my higher self pops in, man, greatness happens. And I feel like that's where you're trying to get at too. Did I have a point in there? I'm bringing it home. With this Lovers, higher self help. I really feel like with this journey, just remember, this is when you're going at this, keep your happiness and trust your gut and keep that strength. And that way, with that, we can get through this Tower moment. Are you happy now? The Four of Swords and the Aeon. That's it. Right, because that's what happens when you just keep yelling during a reading. Now, the Tower. The Tower is the Tower is not a bad card. I'm giving the Tower a hard time just because it does bring about so much goodness. It can seem like, in all this madness, because I got to find out what this creature is, because that can be concerning. And then, I don't know why our instinct is, well, I do know why the instinct is to jump, because your building's on fire. But we don't need to be alarmed over here. We need to see this. You're that Eye of Shiva. See the destruction for what it is. What we see in that destruction? Opportunities for creation. Opportunities for happiness. I had some other stuff here, but we're just going to roll with that right now. Opportunities for happiness. And whatever that looks like. In all 9 forms of it. Thanks. And that's what the Tower's just popping up for, Every time, it's, I never want you to panic. It's not ring the alarms. Nope. If we're ringing the alarms, it's because, hey, everyone, Aquarius is about to he's about to evolve into a Hierophant. He's about to be so wise what he learns from this situation. And I feel like once we get through that tower moment, we are going to get to not only that truce, but to that closure. Wait a minute. Everyone's in a rush. Um, but with this Four of Swords card, the Four of Swords is a card of, relief from anxiety, that passage through troubles. Changes come from adversity and hard times and all that. This is coming to that peace, coming to that acceptance, getting that, all right, seeing it for what it is. Now we're in good shape. Oh, and if I didn't tell you, this is the stuff that your higher self wants you to know. That these tower moments are okay, and that you're gonna find your peace, and that you're gonna find that closure. Because the Aeon card is about that closure, and also I feel like this is a card of also definitive action. So I do feel like with this popping up as well, this is you saying, this is doubling down on your fool's journey here. Absolutely. If it's bringing you that exuberance, that fulfillment, that, going to get you in the place that you need to be, then I say absolutely go out and claim it. Go and get that happiness. As long as we're raising that vibration, what could go wrong? Well, let me not jinx it. Everything's going to be fine. This is probably a good time to switch back over. So yeah, Aquarius, I hope that all made sense. I know there was a lot of in chatter here. They've been extremely talkative today. Not your problem, but just remember, go with that enthusiasm, because I'm all for the Fool. The Fool's journey is always an exciting one. And I do like that. I really do feel like this is kind of a nice turnaround from, because we've been bringing some kind of some deep energies the last couple weeks. So this, I really do feel like, yeah, now we're starting to take that step in that right direction, and things are really, we're starting to get some clarity. Starting to get that control and get the reins of our life back. So I'm absolutely with it, Aquarius. I want that to resonate with all of you, but definitely I hope that resonates with some of you. Okay. But do all those YouTube things. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, do the liking, do the sharing, tell all your friends, tell their moms, all the things. And for better understanding of yourself, check your moon, check your rising. And this week, we're checking our Mars, because this is Mars's card. And, we're checking our Mars just to see how we kind of respond to what's our impulse. What is our knee-jerk reaction when it comes to maybe dealing with some hot energies or whatnot. Because Mars, this tower, well, you know what? I know why the tower's been so excited. Because the tower has shown up in Celestial News Weekly. Yeah, this camera stuff has got my Celestial News Weekly intros all kind of jacked up. But it's fine. We're still bringing that enthusiasm. Didn't you like that? I like that. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna keep it moving. So, yes, you heard me right. Mars is in retrograde. As of today, yes, you are going backwards. And it's going to be in retrograde until the 12th of January. So kind of settle in for a little bit. But just a couple things on Mars. Well, just like one thing on Mars. Mars in general is kind of in charge of how we go about activities, can control our sex drive, our aggression, anger, all those types of emotions. And with it being in retrograde, this is just kind of a time of, you're going to feel those feelings kind of come up to the surface, kind of bubble up, if you will. That frustration, that turmoil. It might even get to a point where it feels like things just have come to a halt. And this is this is one of those times, while it's in retrograde, you would think it's just we just want towers, and tower for you, and tower for you, and tower for you. Mars is not a supervillain. Mars is, what it's trying to do is get it to where we're just when you get in those flashes of anger, what's your initial response? Are you flip table, just really aggressive? Are we hurting ourselves, or can we come at it in a more healthier kind of way? Can we have that more sort of no, wait a minute. The mantra that I've been telling people now, it's been whenever we're feeling those emotions come up, Queen of Wands, Queen of Wands is, I know you don't have her here, but it's never, you can always exercise the Queen of Wands energy. But she's cool as a cucumber, adaptable, calm. You know, she's not one to lose it. And that's what Mars wants. That's ultimately what Mars does not want us to hit our elbows. Mars wants us to be able to move with intention, to be like, you know, when those pop up, it's just like, I got it. Hey, why did we respond this way? You know, how we, you know, not to ignore that. You know, it's not to ignore the anger, to because anger needs its place too. It may not necessarily be wanted all the time, but it does serve a purpose. And so when it does pop up, we know how to deal with it better. We can channel it a little more. We can use it to our advantage in a sense of like where we become more proactive as opposed to like reactive. So I'm with it, Mars. I'm with it. Um, Next thing, on November 1st, we are at the first quarter moon. And the first quarter moon is just kind of like we're taking stock. You know, if some of us maybe some of us have already started this fool's journey, and now this is just like doing like a check-in, just like, are we been staying on track? Are we celebrating our little victories? Have we given this Three of Swords some time? You know, have we, where are we at? You know, we're taking stock. And even if this is something that you're starting, you know, this is good, same kind of thing. Am I in a good place to really commit my whole self to it? Or is this something that I'm going to have to like slowly integrate in my life? You know, this is the first quarter moon is a good time, you know, before we get to that full moon to where everything's just like, yes, energy. So just kind of keep that in mind. Just just when you got some time, do a little self check-in, see where you're at in life. So that's it on like some major stuff. Now I'm going to move on into some aspects. And these energies have been going on, at least the three that I have here today. These energies have been going on as long as from last week, some a little bit longer, and they're going to be going on through the week, and you know, probably for at least a good while. So you know, let's make the most of this energy, because the first one, and this is all starting from the 30th for all three. You got Jupiter is conjunct with Neptune, and when planets are conjunct, they're besties. You know, they're working at it's effortless. Just the energy is just like it's overflowing right now. And with Jupiter being conjunct with Neptune, this is that time for, this would be a good time. Oh, yeah, okay. It's like, I thought that was Three of Swords for a second. It's like, no. But this would be a good time for doing some kind of creative endeavors. You know, this is like, your imagination is like expansive right now. This is a good time, whether you like to do, I don't know, some sculpting, some art, maybe gardening, anything that's just that calls upon you to really sort of like exercise that, where'd it go? That imagination, that intuition, that inspiration. This is a really good time for that. These energies are just like feeding into that. So that might even help deal with that Three of Swords, and even with this Seven of Swords. If you've been feeling a little burnt out, you know, do something that's going to bring you a little joy. Take some time, pick up a recreation, pick up a hobby, you know, anything that's going to make this journey a little more exciting, or just make your life just a little more exciting. You know, you never know what you might find. Next, Saturn is squared with Uranus. Oh, look at that. Both your rulers are, look at that, they're having a party. And not right now, because when they're squared, they're kind of at conflict. So we're petty arguments is what's going on here. But what's really happening is there's going to feel that need for kind of like that transformation, that out with the old. Well, we can throw both of you in here. That kind of out with the old, in with the new type of thing. This is really, you're Scorpio. I don't know who anyone is. But this is a time for, it's going to affect some of us differently. So if this is going to say, let's say for some, you know, there might be this feeling of you want the change to, because I feel like we've had at least one of these three cards in the last few readings. And it's like, you know what, Justin, keep talking about this change. Where is it? I want it now. I want it right now. And for others, it might be, well, Justin, I hear you, but everything's good. I don't need double moments. I don't need towers. I don't need all this death. Let's keep this my transformative time is complete. And that's usually when death comes a knocking, the tower comes a knocking, the devil comes a knocking, and they're just like, hey, you're like, no, no, everyone stay out. But the whole point of that is to say, don't force it. It's let it happen naturally. It's gonna if you're out here yelling, change, change. Change is like, listen, it's too early. I'll be here. Like, don't hit me up. It's not even 11. Just go away. I will be. You're next. I promise. And then for others, it's like, don't keep it at bay. It's not. It might just want to come in like, hey, you did this tower moment great. I got to move this on to the next person. And then you can be like, woo! Then we got something to really make some crazy noises about. Yes, no more tower moments, at least for right now. But yeah, this is that time. Yeah, don't force it. I just wanted to do some more silly analogies and, yell and such. But yeah, just don't force that. Let it where'd you go? Trust that intuition, really feel this transformation time out, because you'll know when you're really starting to settle into it, and everything's just going to be Nine of Cups all day, every day. Okay, last thing, and then I'll get you out of here. I'm trying to keep you short this week, shorter than normal. Lastly, we have Jupiter is sextiling with Pluto. And when two celestial bodies are sextile, it's we're groovy energy here. Everything is all nice and simpatico. And this is kind of like an energy of like coming into that like channeling that emperor. You're really feeling like your power, your influence, and just getting a better sense of you and how you affect the world. And there's going to be, while you're going through that, embarking on this journey, really kind of establishing that soul tribe, finding people. I've been saying it's like, it's not, I feel like it's different from like, having like healthy competition, trying to have people to best. This isn't about seeing who's the best. This is about inviting people in that are going to be like, hey, I see your strength, you see my strength. How can we make this work for us? What can we learn from each other in all of this, and then have that grow, and then how can we go out and raise the vibration, and then bringing in those like-minded people and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that, and then watching the greatness, watching your Nine of Cups become like a million cups, because that's what we're trying to get at. We're trying to raise everybody's vibration up, team. And this is the time to do it, because then when we get in these tower moments, this death card, when everybody comes a knocking, you're not alone in this. You got your tribe. We go from merely surviving to thriving, and who doesn't want that? That sounds lovely to me. So yeah, I think that was cool. Let me pull your surprise card. I appreciate your patience through all the silliness. Oh, shoot, hold on one second. Good news, it's the universe. So totally worth it. Oh, maybe. Come on. Okay. Got it. We're with it. See? The universe. And this is about getting that big picture. You really made me work for it. But this is about it was totally worth it. Because look at that. Now we've got that crystallized thinking, that clarity, we got that inertia. We're going at it. We finally, and how great, what a great ending to your, look at that. At the beginning, we were on that fool's journey, and look at how we ended. First card in the card. Ooh, I got chills. First card in the major arcana, and the last card in the major arcana. Come on, Aquarius. What do I gotta say to that? Go out and get it. Go have some fun. Keep raising that vibration. And yeah, that's all, everybody. No, you're all done. Except for you. You two. I love it. Okay, I'm done holding you here. Now I'm just talking to them. See you later, Aquarius.